Old Hollywood was built on fame and fantasy. Yet behind the scenes existed stories too dark to stay buried. Today, we examine 15 autopsy reports that revealed the shocking truths behind the deaths of Hollywood legends. Viewer discretion is advised. Marilyn Monroe, 1962. Marilyn Monroe's death remains one of the most haunting mysteries in old Hollywood history. Officially, her cause of death was ruled a probable suicide due to an acute barbiturate overdose. The autopsy revealed extremely high levels of sedatives in her bloodstream, far exceeding what was considered lethal. Shockingly, no pill residue was found in her stomach, raising serious questions about how the drugs entered her body. At the time of her death, Marilyn was known to be struggling with severe insomnia, depression, and dependence on prescription medication, much of it legally provided by doctors. The lack of a clear ingestion method, combined with missing phone records and inconsistencies in witness statements, fueled decades of conspiracy theories involving powerful Hollywood figures and political elites. While authorities closed the case, many believe the full truth behind Marilyn Monroe's final hours was never completely revealed, turning her autopsy into one of the most controversial in celebrity history. Judy Garland, 1969. Judy Garland's death exposed one of old Hollywood's darkest practices, the exploitation of child stars. From her teenage years at MGM Studios, Judy was placed on a strict regime of pills, stimulants to keep her energetic on set and sedatives to force sleep afterward. This routine continued for decades, leaving her body physically exhausted and chemically dependent. When Judy died at the age of 47, the autopsy ruled her death an accidental overdose of barbiturates. Her body showed no signs of violence, but the toxicology report revealed lethal levels of prescription drugs, highlighting years of abuse disguised as medical care. By the time of her death, Judy's organs were weakened, and her tolerance for medication had become dangerously unpredictable. Although officially labeled accidental, her death raised serious ethical questions about the studio system that controlled her life from childhood. Judy Garland's autopsy became a tragic symbol of how fame destroyed one of Hollywood's brightest stars. Humphrey Bogart, 1957. Humphrey Bogart, one of old Hollywood's most iconic leading men, spent his final years battling a silent and devastating illness. In 1956, Bogart was diagnosed with esophageal cancer, a disease strongly linked to his lifelong habits of heavy smoking and excessive alcohol consumption. As the cancer progressed, he underwent multiple surgeries that removed large portions of his esophagus, leaving him weak, emaciated, and unable to eat normally. When Bogart died at the age of 57, the autopsy revealed severe internal deterioration caused by the aggressive spread of the cancer. His organs showed extreme damage, compounded by years of physical strain from substance use. By the time of his death, his weight had dropped dramatically, and his body was no longer able to recover from infection or surgical trauma. Bogart's autopsy painted a tragic contrast between his tough on-screen persona and the painful reality of his final months, marking a sobering end to a Hollywood legend. Natalie Wood, 1981. Natalie Wood's death remains one of the most controversial tragedies in Hollywood history. In November 1981, the actress drowned near Catalina Island after disappearing from a yacht she was aboard with her husband, Robert Wagner, and co-star Christopher Walken. The initial autopsy ruled her death an accidental drowning, but it also revealed unexplained bruises on her arms, legs, and face. At the time, these injuries were attributed to possible falls while trying to reboard the boat, yet witness statements failed to fully align with this explanation. Toxicology reports showed alcohol and prescription medication in her system, which may have impaired her judgment. Decades later, the case was reopened, and the cause of death was amended to drowning with undetermined circumstances. Conflicting testimonies, missing details, and unanswered questions continue to fuel speculation. Natalie Wood's autopsy did not provide closure. Instead, it deepened the mystery surrounding her final moments, making her death one of Hollywood's most enduring enigmas. Rudolph Valentino, 1926. Rudolph Valentino, the original heartthrob of silent-era Hollywood, shocked the world when he died suddenly at just 31 years old. In August 1926, Valentino was hospitalized after collapsing with severe abdominal pain. Doctors initially underestimated his condition, delaying proper treatment. When surgery was finally performed, it revealed a ruptured gastric ulcer that had caused a massive internal infection known as peritonitis. By the time the damage was discovered, it was already too late. The autopsy confirmed that the infection had spread rapidly through his body, overwhelming his organs and leading to fatal complications. Valentino's unexpected death triggered unprecedented public hysteria. Thousands of grieving fans flooded the streets during his funeral, with reports of fainting, riots, and even suicides. His autopsy exposed not only a tragic medical failure but also the fragility behind Hollywood's first sex symbol, proving that fame offered no protection from mortality. James Dean, 1955. James Dean's life was cut tragically short at just 24 years old, forever freezing him in time as Hollywood's ultimate rebel. On September 30, 1955, Dean was driving his Porsche 550 Spyder on a California highway when it collided head-on with another vehicle. The impact was devastating. According to the autopsy, James Dean suffered massive internal injuries, including a broken neck and severe trauma to vital organs. Death was nearly instantaneous, leaving no chance of survival. Unlike many Hollywood tragedies, there was no mystery surrounding the cause, only the brutal reality of speed and impact. Dean's death shocked the nation, especially since he had recently filmed a public safety announcement warning young drivers about speeding. The autopsy confirmed what witnesses already feared, but it also cemented his legacy. James Dean became a symbol of youth, rebellion, and unfulfilled potential, proving that even Hollywood's brightest stars are not immune to sudden and tragic endings. Jean Harlow, 1937. Jean Harlow, known as the original blonde bombshell, died tragically at just 26 years old, shocking Hollywood at the height of her fame. In the weeks leading up to her death, Harlow complained of extreme fatigue, abdominal pain, and swelling, but studio doctors dismissed her symptoms as stress or influenza. In reality, she was suffering from acute kidney failure, likely caused by untreated scarlet fever she had contracted years earlier. By the time her condition was properly recognized, her kidneys were no longer functioning, and toxins had built up dangerously in her body. The autopsy confirmed kidney failure as the true cause of death, exposing a fatal misdiagnosis and lack of adequate medical care. Harlow's rapid decline highlighted the dangers of early Hollywood studio system, where an actor's health was often secondary to production schedules. Her autopsy became a tragic reminder of how fame and youth could not protect stars from medical neglect. Errol Flynn, 1959. Errol Flynn lived exactly the way Hollywood portrayed him, reckless, excessive, and unapologetic. By the late 1950s, years of heavy drinking, drug use, and a chaotic lifestyle had taken a severe toll on his health. When Flynn died at the age of 50, the autopsy revealed extensive heart damage, severe liver disease, and widespread physical deterioration far beyond his years. Toxicology reports also showed multiple substances in his system, reflecting long-term dependency rather than a single fatal dose. Doctors concluded that his heart simply could not withstand the accumulated abuse any longer. Despite his swashbuckling image and charm on screen, Flynn's body told a much darker story, one of exhaustion, addiction, and irreversible damage. His death marked a stark contrast between Hollywood fantasy and reality. The autopsy exposed the true cost of fame and excess, turning Errol Flynn's passing into a cautionary tale about how a glamorous lifestyle can quietly destroy even the biggest stars. Thelma Todd, 1935. Thelma Todd, nicknamed the Ice Cream Blonde, was a beloved comedic actress in the 1920s and 30s, known for her wit and charm. On December 16, 1935, Todd was found dead inside her car, which had been parked in the garage of her home in Pacific Palisades, California. The official autopsy ruled the cause of death as carbon monoxide poisoning, but the circumstances surrounding her death remain mysterious to this day. Some believe it was a tragic accident, suggesting that she had left the car running to warm up. Others speculate suicide due to personal or professional troubles, while yet another camp argues foul play, potentially connected to organized crime or Hollywood rivalries. Investigators noted inconsistencies at the scene, and several witnesses offered conflicting accounts. Decades later, new theories continue to emerge. Todd's autopsy may have provided a medical cause, but it failed to unravel the truth behind one of Hollywood's most enduring and chilling mysteries.